Hey guys, I'm Ashley, and welcome to my You versus You podcast. There's a little you and there's a big you. And this space is going to be all about unpacking what that means. We're going to be unraveling the identity that you think is you, but might not actually be who you truly are. We're going to be talking about the healing that people find along the way, the supernatural, and everything in between. We're going to take you from the bottom, little you, who's keeping you stuck with all of the negative programs and the limiting beliefs to help you rise back to the top, to big you, which is your limitless potential. We are all down here to serve the higher good. And let's just heal, get vulnerable, share our wins and our losses, and let's rise together. Thanks for being here, and I really hope you enjoy the next episode. Gosh, look at my background. I just had to do an episode at this phenomenal Airbnb that we just stayed in for 10 days. Look at this. I mean, it's a freaking oasis here. Like this house. It's really not anything fancy, but it's fantastic. Like it wraps around the pool, so you've got a pool in the middle of the freaking house, screened in. It's been the absolute best reset our family could have had right now. Fantastic reset. So I had to give you guys a bit of the experience, and so we'll have all kinds of wildlife noise in the background. Because that's awesome. We're going to talk about ways to ground and reset. This feels like alignment to me, if I have ever felt it. Super pumped. Like I was kind of reading through my notes of what I was going to talk about on this episode, and my energy got all freaking wound up. Like you know, how you get everybody just thinks everything's anxiety because nobody taught us about emotions and that they all have like a unique frequency, which just means a unique feeling inside your body when you're experiencing it. So, since nobody really has told us the depth of an emotion and why it's important, then big surprise that we don't know anything about them. Um, Two, we're scared of them because we were told our entire childhood to probably suck it up or shut up or, got freaking spanked all to hell because all you did was cry because that's gonna help it. You would agree with me that we're all just this big shell of suppressed emotions and super excited to have this discussion because now I get to bring in the book that like changed my brain for the energetic world or the spiritual realm. My story, I know I touch on it here and there, but I kind of dug into why my body was failing at age 36 and I was super healthy female. I was like society's poster child because I checked all of the boxes that you were supposed to check. And I was proud to check them, you guys. I was proud to ditch sugar like over 10 years ago. I know the power of fruits and vegetables. And then in the last 3 to 5 years, we found the power of protein and muscle building and just basically, I guess, longevity hacks, right? But just the all natural ones because we've never really lived a lavish lifestyle to spend money on the other hacks like peptides and the super all natural hacks that are awesome. But guess what? They're on my list. Part of this journey is not playing small anymore and being who you wanted to be. At some point in the journey that you had dreams and visions of who you thought you were going to grow up to be. Okay, so a lot of this podcast is going to be all about trying to not figuring out, actually, like integrating who you were as a child. That's when the Bible says you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven without a childlike spirit. You got to go back and get your original spirit energy blueprint. Okay. And that is what this podcast is all about, is to open y'all's eyes to what energy really is and to not get lost in the woo woo. Oh, it's scary because it is scary, but light always beats dark. Duh, right? Love wins. It's all about love. Agape love, unconditional love, guys. And the only way I can describe unconditional love, the way that that God whatever makes you feel more comfortable. Jesus showed me. And it has zero judgment. It has zero yucky in it. Because if God is love, then love is God. And God is not evil and hateful and revengeful. That's the dark side, okay? So if you name what something is, you take your power back from it. So give these shitty things in your life a name and watch them fall off because you finally called them out. You finally decided like, "Oh shit, I can take my power back." Ashley said I could. Yeah, that's all you got to do. Actually, just say that. You don't even have to know what it means, but you say, "God, I call my power back." And then the other big hack is that you also, right after that, say, and I release all energies that aren't mine that are attached. And life is literally going to start to change for you guys. I just want to bring your awareness what your body feels like in the moment. So whether that moment has an emotion or maybe you're actually crystal clear and you didn't know that you could feel a peaceful energy inside of you. It just takes a ton of focus. It takes a ton of consistency, which is also discipline. So what I'm about to teach you in this podcast series is takes just as much work as going to the gym every single day. You have to put the reps in of calling your power back, checking on your energy, spiritual realm of you to know even what that feels like. And then you will actually realize how surrounded by the spiritual energies we are. And then you'll also be able to make a connection of, holy shit, it wasn't my energy making me feel like that. That maybe was super long-winded, but it just felt right. And when you're just going with the flow, which is what our true intentions are supposed to be here, then I'm sure it was perfect. Let's get started on the Energetic World 101. I'm going to read highlighted bits from the emotion code. I got this book, you guys, and it completely changed my life. To me, the connection I made with this book was this is what psychics use. So then I had to wrestle with that because being a Bible girl, that's been demonized most of my life. Luckily, I had a mom that was open to that side of things, and she also went on a biblical journey, like a church journey. And she had a lot of it figured out, you guys, but something happened along the way, and it's called misalignment. People get ran by their emotions, but you can run your emotions. Like that's the switch that didn't get flipped for my family. Emotions still run them, which is the way of the world until you learn to flip it. Okay? So this is chapter 3 in the book Emotion Code, part 2, and it's Part 2 says the energetic world. It's mysteries of the ancient energy healers. So down here it says, since its discovery, Russian scientists have done a significant amount of research using Kirlian photography. I have no idea if that's how that's pronounced. I did not Google it. They have found that all things exhibit the characteristics of an energy field, although living things have a much more vibrant energy field than inanimate things. Perhaps the most striking Kirlian images are those of leaves that have been cut in half, yet still show the complete, intact energy field of the whole leaf. Is it possible that these Kirlian images are actually revealing the inner spiritual nature of things? The existence of the human energy field has been a basic tenet of the healing arts for a very long time. The Hindus understood the vital life-giving force that permeates and gives life to all things to be prana, an understanding going back 5,000 years. The Chinese taught this energy, and they call it qi, C-H-I, and understood that if the qi is imbalanced within an individual, the result is poor health. Just for those who might not know and they're already feeling icky because we're talking about someone else's belief systems that doesn't have the word American in it, settle down. That's just your belief systems being triggered, they're being tested. It's okay to open your mind and listen, okay? You don't have to get mad, just listen. And if it feels icky, then it's not for you. But if it makes your body resonate, like kind of beat stronger and kind of want more information, then keep listening. But anyways, what I was going to do is I was going to tie that to acupuncture. The art of acupuncture only focuses on the energy fields of the body. They run like rivers in us, just like the lymph, just like the blood, just like the veins. Okay. So back to it. Trapped emotions distort and block the flow of this energy in our bodies, and the emotion code is one simple way to bring this energy back to a more balanced state. The spirit and the temple. I believe that the human energy field is essentially the spirit that exists within each of us. I also believe that if you could somehow magically pull your spirit out of your body and stand several alongside each other for comparison, the likeness would surprise you. Many of the near death experiences that have been recorded reveal that people who have died have actually just left their bodies for a time. Sometimes they don't even realize that they have died until they look down and they see their physical body lying there as they hover above it. People who have experienced these near-death experiences understand that they are not their physical body. Instead, their body is more like a temple that houses their spirit self. I like to call it a flesh suit. It's fleshy vehicle. Like that's all this is, you guys. But you picked it. So just to let you know, if you're not happy with your image, it's because something has you distorted because you picked you. Before you came down here, you knew what you were going to look like. You picked your parents, all of it. This helps get you out of victimhood. So soak it in. At the end of this section, he ends it with, we truly are spiritual beings having a physical experience here on this earth. So, how your thoughts affect others. Your thoughts originate from your spirit intelligence and can have a profound effect on those around you. Your thoughts are energy and are continually radiating from your body without limits. Think projection, you guys. Like you actually have like this siren going off your body, but you can't hear it. You might be able to hear it eventually, but you have an energy that leads ahead of you. The energy of your thoughts and feelings exerts a subtle effect on other people as well as on other forms of life. Whether, dogs know, they're like, wow, animals can sense if you're a bad person or not. They can. And maybe you're not a bad person, but somebody kind of turns you into a bad person and you're still carrying all that yucky energy instead of letting it go. So, whether we realize it or not, we are constantly making contact with others because all energy is continuous and connected. When thought energy from others passes through your energetic being, there must always be an effect. E, EFFECT, either positive or negative. In this case, the audience's negative thoughts about the volunteer weaken her demonstrably. Their positive thoughts strengthen her. This fascinating yet simple test has some rather profound implications. Of course, your own thoughts will have the most dramatic and immediate effect on the state of your own energy field. Shifting your thinking from positive to negative will immediately shift your vibrational energy from positive to negative. This will inevitably produce negative results, the most obvious and immediate of which is a generalized weakening of the body. I mean, just a generalized weakening of the body, you guys, just for negative thoughts. What I put two and two together here on my journey, and probably long after the emotion code, not only are the words that you say programming your being, the thoughts that you think, the ones that you don't even say, also program your being. Okay, so the people pleasers, can put on this really nice mask that we're nice, but when we're behind closed doors, we're not nice to our own family. Why? Because you're unhappy. So then you take it out on everybody else, but the only fix for being unhappy is to figure out who you are and what you want. Okay, you made all the choices. You're with all the people that you chose to be with. And if you're not happy about it, what happened? You chose it. Your subconscious mind is aware of negative thoughts that might be harming you, whether they are your own thoughts or not. Yeah, remember that one, whether they're your own thoughts or not. Often, your conscious mind is slow to detect negative energies if you cannot see or hear proof of them in the form of facial expressions, body language, or verbal communication. This proof is what you have been taught to look for since you were a little child. Programming, guys. We mimic, we've learned. We also learned by what our parents were projecting, and we absorbed all of their feelings. That's another day. I think we have all become somewhat desensitized. Yes, we have. And so most of us are unable to consciously detect energy that we cannot see. No, because nobody taught us to. That's what I'm going to do. We are bombarded with information from the day we are born about the world is about what the world is supposed to be like. Governments, shopping malls. This was someone's image that they bore upon us. Okay, maybe it wasn't your image. We are fed perspectives, opinions, prejudices, traditions. How blindly have you just been doing the same thing every year, even though it doesn't make you happy? Think about it. Theories, facts, and doctrines. We hope that what we have learned is based in truth. We go to school to learn facts about nature, science, and the history of the world. By the time we reach adulthood, our ideas about the world are essentially in place. So think about that. They put a box around your head. That's the way I like to think. That's the way I like to picture it for people is you have a complete box. Well, that's what God told me in my breakdown as he showed me that my head was in a box and it was a man-made box. A man-made box. Just remember that, okay? Man-made box. The nature of everything. Most of us never learned that everything around us is made of energy, vibrating at different levels, making things look different, taste different, smell different, and feel different. Our universe is also made of little building blocks called subatomic particles. They are actually not particles at all, but you can think of them as infinitesimally small units of vibrating energy. So it's like the atoms, guys, that we learned about in junior high. We learned about them, but we can't see them. Well, we can, but not individually. Like Legos, differing arrangements of these little energies will produce atoms of different elements, such as hydrogen, carbon, titanium, and so on. And again, like Legos, various atoms can be arranged to make molecules that we call proteins, fats, carbohydrates, and so on. Ultimately, all the things we see around us and literally everything that exists, whether plant, animal, mineral, gas, liquid, solid, or anything else, is made of these little building blocks and they are made of energy. The mysterious quantum world. Subatomic particles are not really particles. They are instead a quantum, or a quantity of something that is quite indefinable. Quantum physics, or the study of these smallest units of energy, was started by Albert Einstein and his contemporaries. One of the most startling aspects of quantum research reveals that these energies behave in different ways depending on what the observer is expecting to see. Many physicists believe that the only explanation for these mysterious behaviors is that the energies within the atom are themselves intelligent to some small degree. In one famous experiment, scientists split an atom, sending two of its particles or energies traveling in different directions at nearly the speed of light. After the particles had journeyed a certain distance in different directions, one of the particles passed through a powerful magnetic field that changed its direction of travel. At the same instant, its sister particle changed direction too, at precisely the same angle. Though a considerable distance separated them, the two particles were still mysteriously connected. What happened to one instantly affected the other with no regard to distance or separation. How do you think this could be? How could these little energies perform such a feat of apparently instantaneous communication if they were so far apart? No one really knows for certain how this phenomenon, known as quantum entanglement, works. However, quantum physics has shown this phenomenon over and over again. Making a change in one particle will cause an instantaneous and equivalent change in a connected particle, no matter how far away it is. It appears that distance is no barrier to the connectedness of their energy. Remember, everything is connected to everything else. So, remembering the kamikazes, the inexplicable phenomenon of connectedness is not restricted to the behavior, man, I'm struggling, of individual subatomic particles. However, it has also been shown to occur in the cells in the human body. In one well-known study, white blood cells were taken from a subject and placed in a petri dish. White blood cells are responsible for seeking out and destroying foreign bacteria, toxins, and other invaders. The subject was hooked up to electrodes to measure the electrical activity of his body. His white blood cells were also placed in a highly sensitive device that was able to measure their electrical activity. Exact measurements were taken of the electrical activity level of both the patient and his white blood cells. One of the men in the study had served in the Navy during World War II on an aircraft carrier stationed in the Pacific Ocean. While he was there, Japanese kamikaze suicide pilots had attacked. The man was terrified, and more than once he was sure he was going to die. After he was hooked up to the electrodes, he was shown newsreel footage of kamikaze pilots diving and attacking aircraft carriers during the war. While it was a long ago event, his body had not forgotten it. The sudden acute anxiety that he felt showed immediately on the readout from the electrodes on his body. This comes as no real surprise, but the researchers were amazed to see that his white blood cells on the other side of the room showed exactly the same burst on the readout. Both readouts were essentially identical. The electrical currents of the cells were suddenly just as erratic as the currents in his body. The researchers turned off the projector, and the electrical activity in both the man and his blood cells across the room returned to normal. The scientists could hardly believe it. They repeated the test a number of times with similar results each time, just to see what would happen. The test was repeated again, but the distance between the patient and his white blood cells was increased. In fact, the measuring device containing the still living white blood cells was driven to another laboratory a number of miles away, and the test was repeated. Keeping precise records of the times and electrical activities of the man in the room and his cells several miles away, the researchers repeated the experiment again and again. The man was shown the kamikaze clips and then allowed to relax, and then he was shown the newsreels again and allowed to relax. The electrical activity on the man's readouts and those of his living blood cells several miles away were matched every time. The results of this test went against everything these scientists had been taught. Ask anyone whether a man who gets upset watching a movie can make his blood cells act upset many miles away, and you'll probably be laughed at. It sounds impossible, yet it happened. That is just literally a snippet of this book before it starts to teach you the techniques of the emotion code. It's an amazing book, and for me, all my brain needed to know was those scientific results, to know that it's what psychics use and that we have the spirit self of ourselves that can actually go like anywhere. So just let that sit in your brain. Next subject I want to talk about is signs that your energy is off. So the signs that your energy is off is just I like to just call it like ickiness, like maybe you're irritable, maybe you don't feel very well, maybe you are starting to fill up with anxiety, but before you realize it's anxiety, your body has already just become this tension magnet. Anything that is just not peaceful is your energy's off. So for me in the beginning of this whole journey, it would maybe take like 3 or 4 weeks to regulate myself. Okay, this is better than 3 months, right? You're not hiding it for 3 months anymore. And then it just kept getting better. The more intentional I got about getting rid of certain energies or aches and pains, the shorter the time got in recognizing my patterns. Okay. So you just have to start recognizing when you're off. That's all it means. It's just like when you feel off, it means your energy is off. You need to sit down. You need to, even if you only have 5 minutes, you need to sit down and meditate. You need to call your power back. You need to release all energies that are not yours. Put up put up a wall of protection, which is literally you say the Lord's Prayer. It does everything. It releases, it feeds you, gives you instructions for the day. That's what it means. It doesn't mean real food. And it protects you. Just knowing that you're off, just know you just need to really know yourself. Go on the journey of understanding who you are and why you do what you do. And then it just gets better and better and better. And all the stuff that isn't you falls off, which is patterns that are from your past. They really aren't you. It was just a survival mechanism from the past that you're still carrying with you, and you don't need it anymore unless you have yourself in an unstable environment. That would be why those things are still there. So you need to just make sure that you're safe because your spirit loves safety. Your spirit loves safety. Your spirit loves safety. And when you're safe, this physical body starts to feel way better. It starts to feel lighter. Aches and pains start to just go away because you're just giving something attention in the moment so it can be done instead of carrying it on for 5 years or 5 weeks. It's it's really simple, guys. It's just awareness and consciousness, like becoming more aware of yourself and your daily activities, your daily thoughts, your your daily disciplines. Ways to ground and reset. So grounding and resetting, you guys, that was completely new to me. I used to run around like a chicken with my head cut off, and I was so proud of it. I put way too many irons in the fire that I couldn't keep up with. I made empty promises, the same that I complain about my sister doing. You know, you got to call your own shit out for life to change. Grounding and resetting, one of the most phenomenal, and I think I talked about it maybe in one of my first episodes, but I had just learned, okay, let's see, we got a Kangen water machine, and then this guy was all about just natural reset stuff. So I learned a lot from him. And I had literally just watched a video of his talking about trees. That's where hugging a tree came from, was because trees take your negative energy from you. So just like dogs and animals, they actually, that's why they're so awesome, is they come to just take they rub across you. They want to give you lovin's because they absorb your negative energy because they're always on the ground, the dirt. So they're grounding all the time. Then Mother Earth takes their negative energy, right? It's a balance. And it's not foo-foo. They wanted us to think it was foo-foo so that we can keep going and getting on their medicines and their systems and their junk when we can survive without all the junk. Grounding, standing barefoot in the grass, like legit. The beach, the ocean, super grounding. Meditating. If you can't get out and stand in the grass barefoot because you're too scared of looking like a crazy person or hugging a tree, meditate and just focus on something that makes you feel really, really good. So maybe you got to visualize that you're sitting on the beach, all right? Really, your body doesn't know any different if you're telling your mind and convincing your mind that you're there. It's just going to program your body with that peace and that calming. I love solfeggio frequencies. There's a whole list of those from 174 hertz to 963 hertz. There's a whole bunch. It's another thing that they hijacked on us was frequencies that, like, obviously, guys, radio signals, Wi-Fi, microwaves. You can't say that you don't believe in it because you use it every day. But there's frequencies, obviously, that we can't see or we're unaware of, and they've actually switched it from like 432, which is nature's frequency. It sounds beautiful. And they changed it to like 440, the German Nazis. It's in a book. It might be in this book too, because it causes chaos. And so when nobody knows to be in charge of their system, and then your instrument, which is your body, is just constant chaos because of all of these frequencies in the air, well, no wonder everybody feels like crap. Okay? It goes deep and sometimes it takes time. Maybe you're at the beginning of this and you're like, this sounds wacky. I thought the same thing. I literally had to stay quiet for 2 years because I was like, man, they're gonna put me in the insane asylum. Um, I was real scared to talk about this shit. And so what I do, I just put the data to the test. And I just did my own experiments on people for like a couple years, mainly my family. Basically, just repeated the process that Jesus and God showed me, whoever, whichever source, divine. I don't get hung up on words anymore. Everything deduces down to a single digit eventually. Just reprogram your being, and that you do have to start to reprogram it for the positive. It's how powerful positive thoughts and positive talking, positive writing is. That's why I'm wearing these shirts. That's why I've just developed my own shirt company, because this is programmed with unconditional love. It even says I love you on the back. Look, okay? I thought that another inspiration on a walk around the lake one day. I was just like, I've gone through this whole gamut and spent thousands of dollars on my healing journey to basically come full circle back to love heals everything. Well, love is God. God is love. So my brain from inspiration picked up, just put I love you on shirts. At first, people are going to be like, oh, that's weird. Just like everything, right? Oh, weird, weird. And then the next thing you know, you're going to get a guy go, I love you too. And it's not weird. It's not sexual. It's agape love. It's brotherly, sisterly love. Hey, brother. Hey, sister, I love you. Again, sometimes our human families come here to throw us off because maybe some of us are like, F that. I don't love my sister. I don't love my brother. The devil's winning. He's keeping you fucking attached to bullshit, negativity. Cut the cords. Attachments are your physical family, your physical bloodline. If it's not healthy, kick it. You are not, you didn't sign a contract that you have to keep them in their life because they brought you here. Just pray for them. And praying for them just means to say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And you're not saying it to them. You're saying it to the divine, and they're transmuting the energies around all of it. So you don't even have to think about it, you guys. Take the thinking out, because your thinking is probably junk. And it's probably not even yours, anyways. You start saying release all energies that don't belong to me, and a lot of thoughts disappear. Your mind can actually be empty. It's amazing. So then that also was part of my journey. It made me really mad because nobody told me. All I needed to say was, leave me alone, energies. In Jesus' name, you want to make it even more powerful? Put it in Jesus' name. Boom, done. You programmed your being. Program yourself instead of letting other people program you. It's it's not rocket science, but I understand it, guys. I was stuck for a long time too, and it felt like rocket science in the beginning. The sooner you can start doing grounding and reset habits for yourself, the better. Huge awakening. I went on that walk and he told me to hug a tree, and I questioned it because I know there's cameras out there, but the lake was closed, and I had to fight my humanness. I had to fight being judged. I had to fight my fears of being thrown in jail, just stupid shit, man-made shit, guys. And I told him I would on my way back. So finished, I walked down to special spot and just had a complete unraveling of what I thought this whole journey was supposed to be about, and realized it was all attachments and it was all fake, and it was weird, it was crazy, and then I had to really make sense of it all for the next 2 years basically. Came back to that tree. He'd already unraveled it, right? I didn't give a shit what anybody thought, and I fucking hugged that tree, and it was amazing. And had it been a little bit more comfortable, I would have taken a nap on her. But the second I let go of her, of the tree, this is written in my little journal pages, but the second I let go of that tree, a bird took flight as if it was dying. Like it just sounded like it was being attacked. And at the same exact time, I felt this energetic, this heavy, like literally felt like 90 pounds lifted off of my body. I shit you not. I felt joy instantly, and the first thought in my brain was, I'm me again. Wild. And again, guys, I just read the passage in Matthew about the guy in the cave that Jesus went and he cast out his demons and they ran into the pigs, and then the pigs killed themselves in the ocean because, oh, they wanted to take on another life form. Well, their chaotic energy made the pigs kill themselves in the water. So they still got their karma. They still got what they deserved, you know? And so it just made me believe that God's earth is Mother Earth is amazing. And she was built and put here to help us, not to harm us. And all of that was fear tactic because they don't want you to heal yourself. You are fully capable of healing everything in this physical body. So stick around because real world examples is what this podcast is going to be all about. Hey guys, so I really hope that you enjoyed that episode, and I can't wait for you to keep diving in to more of what this little you versus big you journey is all about. You're going to find all kinds of topics in a slow drip process here about consciousness, about healing, about energy, and everything in between. The episodes that are going to be in this podcast are going to blow your mind, but it is going to be a slow drip information type of process. And if you have already been on a healing journey and you need more clarity and more answers, don't hesitate to book a one-to-one session. They're open now, and my link is below. And I would love to work with you one-on-one because it's just me and you, and it's private, and you can get clarity faster. But if you're not in a hurry, welcome. This podcast is going to be awesome, and you're going to find so many answers to help turn your life around for the better. Become the author of your life. Write the script, see what happens.